Hey there, lovely people. What's going on? Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I feel like talking a little bit extra with you guys today, and I've just finished doing initial impression on a fragrance just now from Aromatics Nibs collection. This is actually Royal Taboo, which I did initial impression. I just bought this yesterday, and I was wearing it, giving it a full wear. So the two are done. Okay, Platine Blanc and Royal Taboo, both are good fragrances. Okay, check out my review if you're interested. Maybe go and sample them. Okay, so that's it. So I just want to talk to you about like few things, after a long time, like after maybe a few days, I'm not wearing a hat. It's just like a new hobby of mine. I'm just buying, collecting some. I'm finding interest in this. Some of you ask me like, should you be buying hats of different types and review them as well? I do not know much about hats. I just like what I like I just buy or go and collect what I feel is interesting, or rather look good on me, interesting or unique. And the thing is, like, I was wearing this few hats. Like, I have only now the old hats, I had only two left, so they became kind of old. So just thought like go for a different look a little bit, so it'll be just for fun. Okay, but I have no option no intention to review hats, just that I like wearing them. I was just wearing this one. I was doing the review, kind of like those series and stuff like that. Okay, so Peaky Blinders, right? So I got this because of that. And one more brother who is, I think the gentleman is about like a very mature gentleman, like seasoned gentleman in our community. And he said, get this one. When I was trying it on, he said, get this one. Actually, I got it in his recommendation. So this one I will wear mostly for winter. If upcoming winter I'm here, I plan to rock this with maybe Burberry coat or something. Like, we don't get that kind of winter, like Bangladesh. I have so much wish that someday it's going to be very intensely cold, foggy, you will actually shiver. In 2016 when I came here from Malaysia, when I came back, and that time, the 2016, it was a very, very cold winter. Actually needed leather jackets, or gloves, or sometimes those hats, cover my ears and stuff. So if I go outside, like outside my city, it was pretty cold. So I really enjoyed that winter, my perfumes. But as the year progressed, 2017 18 was the last decent winter. Then from there it was like all downhill. And what I mean by it, that I never really we wait basically the whole year. Like, whole year is so hot. I don't like to go out during the hot days. Summertime I don't enjoy at all. But nowadays I prefer summer, because winter time I pick up a lot of flus and stuff, right? And there's a lot of dust, people get COVID and all that, it's horrible. So I prefer summer, because that summertime I don't feel that depressed or like lethargic, because the sun has a lot of vitamin D and you feel active even though you're warm and sweating. But it actually drives you, keeps you much healthier. I don't fall as sick, like before. So the summer basically goes from March, February end it starts, and all the way to November by right. But then November to February we're supposed to have 4 months of decent cool weathers, like 16 degrees, 15 degrees Celsius. But nowadays, man, if we get 21 degrees, under 20 in winters, December, January, 1 month, we count ourselves lucky. But what happened is, what I'm trying to say about the hat and all that, the jacket, we don't really get that sort of cold enough weather to pull off like a proper Burberry jacket, like, and then pair it with the hat. So we do try our best. Like, most we can do is hoodies, So I actually enjoy that time of winter. It's like people are a bit relaxed, people are getting married. I don't want to get married, but I like people getting married because they're happy, they are attending their own wedding and stuff. And then overseas there's like Black Friday sale, Christmas, New Year, peaceful time. By the way, I'm really sorry, I forgot to mention this in my previous video. I just saw a news, heartbreaking news. I think in Texas there was a flash flood and a lot of innocent lives were lost. A lot of children, they lost their lives, special need children. It broke my heart. I literally was devastated, honestly speaking. I shared it and I couldn't believe, like, just like that, so fast. I heard the waves, like the rivers, like not the waves, the height of river went up. Think how much, 15, 16 feet or something. Like, it was crazy. So it swept away homes and stuff. So I really pray for the deceased, the lives lost. It was such precious lives. It was like a disaster. Any disaster is awful. There's just a very difficult time. So I really pray for their families, like people, the ones who lost their lives. And I really pray for everybody's safety wherever you're in the world, may it be states, may it be anywhere, Philistine or Iran, or anywhere in the world, like Africa or Russia, Japan, China, anywhere you live, every life is precious. Okay, doesn't matter what religion or race you're from, humanity above all. Okay, so that's one thing I forgot to mention. So yeah, please, if possible, if you're in states and stuff, if they require funds and stuff, please help. Okay, and government, I hope they will help. Obviously, it's a great country. So yeah, coming back to the discussions, I just want to talk to you like casually and stuff. So what are the things I'm thinking? Just share a few things. Last 1 month, I keep talking about it, was very devastating month for me. Something of my personal battles, and stuff. I was pretty disturbed, and I keep doing videos. I keep talking about this and that, and people saw me like doing 45 minutes videos, which I used to do last in 2016, 17, and I keep talking about personal experiences, like heartbreaks, and how talk about narcissists, people you can trust or not. So these things are part of our lives, because we go through it literally. I'm not much of a family person. I'm pretty selfish in that way, that I don't think I'll make a very good life partner, because I think I require a very special human being who can actually withstand me, love me, or be with me, and I can actually, also do the same for them. My fuse is very short because of now I'm old. It's not an excuse, but old people have some weaknesses, like I consider myself old, old, right? So when I was in my 20s, 30s, I was a different person. Now I'm a different person. I know much more, but I lost so much more as well, because my fitness, my physique, my energy level, I don't have those anymore. My knees, are very weak. Even though I walk a lot, I try to lose weight, but sometimes, the body tells you like, nah, we're too old for this. Like, little weapon, right? But I'm trying to be positive, because I have seen people with much worse, like much younger people. They lost lives, they are in a bad situation, they do substances and stuff. I never tend to those. I actually have a bad habit right now, which I'm doing right now. Where's my bag? I started smoking again, which is not a good news. Oh, I can't see my bag. It's there, it's somewhere there. So I quit smoking last month, and then I started again today. Great. Not for any reason. It's not a good habit. I'm not promoting or anything. It's just like it feels like, sometimes when you puff and you feel like it's getting easier, which it doesn't. It's just psychological, and you waste a lot of money. Maybe I'll quit soon. But last month, I keep going back there, but I think that time sort of is, I am getting over the time, because I'm being a bit more positive. I'm getting engaged in work, and I watched a lot of good content from good content creators, which gave me strength. I got my closures, my answers, and why people do what they do, the particular type or psychology of people. When you know the answer to those, your life makes more sense, and you need closures. If you don't have closure, you'll be always disturbed, and it will be very difficult. It will be more difficult to accept stuff, to move on. I'm talking about relationships and stuff. So I was pretty much, until last year, I was with someone, but I've been like, single for quite a while. But my ex sort of keep coming back and disturb me, and she sort of tried to destroy me with so many things she said, very hurtful things. But I sort of like understood that there is a time and point where you cannot even be friends with anybody, like I thought you could have, out of respect, let them move on. I said all the positives, but then I see sometimes the thing is that the SHIT goes a bit too far. You cannot really work things out anymore. You cannot respect them out of anything. You cannot actually be friends with them. So it's better you respect your boundary, and you just like silently move away, which is what I did. And I did say all the things that I wanted to say. I did say sorry for my, if I had any bad things, or like if I was, little bit, I was missing. Of course I lack, I'm just human, right? And I have my issues. I definitely have my demons and stuff, but I really thought that would work out. And when life plan goes bad after 8-9 years, it takes some time to heal and get over, because from my part, I felt everything I felt was real, my tears, my emotions. So I kept working, and my work is my greatest support system. I always say that my fragrances, I did recently interview, which will come out soon in Bangladesh. Hopefully it will turn out good. I talked about my passion, my journey. It was an interview, sort of like my very first interview. So I shared a lot of stories. So it will be like a maybe 5-6 minutes video, but I did share when they asked me, why do you feel these fragrances, they are more lively than human beings to you? And I did say that. I said that these are lifeless, but they give me so much support. They never betrayed me. It's lame. Basically, it's lame. How can the bottles betray me? But people do. Like not just my relationship and stuff. A lot of people in my life, friends, this and that, you trust. Sometimes you trusted people, and they did not respect it. So I want to talk about a little bit of respect. Okay, why respect is important. Self-respect is important. If you choose a friend, if you choose to trust someone, it has to be they're worth it. You have to be loyal to someone who's worth it. Sometimes we chase people so much, we give them so much, we care for them so much when they're down. We're always there, we listen to them, we're kind to them. But when it comes to our need, our time, or time of moment of truth, people sort of turn their back on us, and they just show us that we are just like option in their book, when you treated them like our priority. So even if it's a friend, let's say you sort of like them, okay, or you shared a few things with them and they also started showing interest, but later suddenly they say something that's awful, or something you didn't expect. It feels like, it's more of me than, me and us both, give and take, or share information and stuff. I noticed this trend with women. I just noticed it, that women and men are very different, because they look kind of similar, a lot of like almost the same everything, just that few things are different. But in the head, men and women completely different, and this is not new knowledge, everybody knows it. But I personally think a lot of this time, we are given the information like they're filling our head. Like, you have to be caring enough, you have to be sensitive, you have to know what she's thinking, what she wants, what she doesn't want to hear. She will reject you and she will not like you. You see the pattern. Nobody ever says the other way around. Nobody people ever say like, hey, you have to care for a man, you have to watch out for his emotions, be sensitive with what you say, the words. No, men are supposed to be like rough and tough. They're supposed to be like, like a is it Tacoma or what? There's this Tundra, right? Toyota, something that pick up, that is the tough one, indestructible, in US is the most sold and most, is it Tundra or Tacoma? I think maybe there are two. I don't remember. One's big, other one's smaller. So there's like 4.5 liter engines, like huge, massive monsters. So men are supposed to be like that. They have to like protect the whole family, using their back as, shield. And they have to withstand. They have to go through, divorces. They have to do the settlements. Every time it's like men doing it, men struggling, men have to care. And when it comes for, let's say, it's a intervention, so men have to understand. They have to listen. So, sometimes they're portrayed like the villains. This is what really hurts me. I'm talking in general for all men. I'm not saying all men are good. There are a lot of good people in both genders, or nowadays I have to talk about all genders, not both. There's so many genders now, right? So I just thought men and women, and if there's a third gender, like trans people, I respect that. But apart from that, I don't get the rest, okay, to be honest. But what I really feel, why not talk about men's respect, men's feelings, and always if there's a bad mishap happens, let's say divorce happens, why people always point like domestic violence, so the guy was the bad one automatically. Maybe he's the one who's guilty because she looks pretty and stuff. So all the sympathy go, like whole world, even the men are the most traitors, when it comes to this. They'll be like, hey man, it's you. Men are always like a monster and stuff because you want to get her attention, sympathy. So it's always about pleasing women, trying to get their heart, trying to make them like you. I say why? Nowadays I'm not, because I'm a hater right now and I'm single, I'm like spit out all the hatred. No. But let's say you're going to meet someone, isn't it your idea like the respect? If you like each other, if you have a conversation, it has to be like sort of like a fair balance. Like, let's say if she asks me how much am I making, and if she's like jobless, like I don't find it to be very appealing, like she's gonna depend on me, and she's asking me how much I'm like, I will ask like, how much are you making? So if she finds it like awful, like let's say she asks you, can I see your socials, like social handles and stuff for Facebook, or can you give me, I want to check, you ask her, let me see your phone. They will let go of their life. They will not let go of their phone. I can tell you that much, right? So why is this? I'm just asking questions. I'm not a hater. I am not a person who is just a very, like someone like, that guy, what's his name? That alpha male guy, right? With the glasses and all. I'm not that, but I'm still asking questions like, isn't this supposed to be a fair place? Women always ask for equal rights and stuff. I say equitable. Equal doesn't sound fair. Equitable means if you're good for something, you'll get that payment. If you, as a woman, you can do better in NBA, football, all the field construction, and you do better than men, you take more money. If you're doing a film, if you're making more money than the lead male role, you take it. I believe in equity. Okay, but sometimes it sounds unfair when, let's say, someone get divorced, the divorce settlement, and she was just a housewife, and then apparently he just had some stupid thing he did, and then he just like half is hers. What did she deserve to take half? Did she have a rich background? Did she bring in the table what the guy brought? These are things that comes to my mind. That's why I feel, why I said I'm not ready. I don't think I'm a family man, because I cannot take BS. BS means all the drama. I'll be a little bit like, okay, what's the word? I will be a little bit like venting out today, and I will be a little bit throwing out my frustration. Check this out. Women, that, you know what I'm gonna say. If you're watching this as a woman, you know exactly what I'm gonna say. Sometimes the mood swings. Women can have all the mood swings they want, special time of the month, or they are not in a good mood, they are cheating, you shouldn't be catching them in there with their, their other, whatever, the boyfriend, whatever. And then, when you actually ask questions, the same questions, like when they ask you, who's that, are you cheating on me, and everything, and you just constantly like, answering, and you're tired, and just one day you just ask her, are you seeing someone else, are you like, do you have anybody? And then they get like, how could you ask me that? That's like so not proper at all. I feel that's unfair. Sometimes they, like, let's say, another example is, I always try to think when things don't work out, right? And they start saying stuff like, you are not there for me, so I had to cheat, you are not emotionally available, I was not feeling that attachment, so I had to cheat. And they justify it and they blame you, This is what I don't understand sometimes, like, what does that mean? Is there actually a legit, like excuse for anybody to cheat? I know a lot of good men, they're heartbroken, they were changed, and I don't blame them, because when you're heartbroken and you trusted someone so badly, because your world turns upside down, only those people who went through that process, they know, right? So my question to all of you is like, ladies, they also know, like, a lot of these things that women do, they just want to have control, they want their men to listen to them, but at the same time they will not listen to the man. That would be like, against feminism, right? So there's a lot of things that's wrong in this world, and men have to live with so much fear in the family, because there is their wife, there is their children, there's their in-laws and everything, and the man has to be perfect. And a lot of men, married men who are my friend, we talk sometimes just like, two guys, and we're just having a smoke or lunch or something, and I hear a lot of frustrations, like they are tired, constant nagging, women just start to have a fight for nothing, just out of nowhere, because they just remember something random from like 2-3 years back, something you said, and they bring it back and say like, you're stupid like your father, or you just all men are the same. But the thing is, these women, very same women, stay with men for very, very long time. They don't leave them, they don't let them leave, or like LIV or LEAV, right? They don't let them walk away, they don't let them leave. What do you want? This is what I know. Like, guys are simple. I'm gonna go to the bar, have a beer and a few cold ones, and come back, watch some football and stuff. That's it. Then you can go and cuddle and stuff, right? But women, they don't really make it clear what is that they want. Maybe they don't know what they want, but I think nowadays, previously I would put my, like, as a man, I put my priority to things like beauty, how cute they are and stuff, or how interesting, how funny they are, how friendly they are, how compatible we are. Nowadays I'm thinking like, first thing I look for in a woman is kindness. This is one thing I think is the most important thing that is missing in even men. Good men, good women, they have it, but they're very rare, very difficult to find. They're like hidden gems. Okay, but if you find someone with good heart, kindness, why would you want to have something better? People are not going to be better like in every way. People are not going to be like how to say perfect, right? So sometimes you have someone, you live with someone, they snore, for example, in the sleep. Some guys, they are like a little bit like they have the belly and stuff, sometimes they are not the most good looking, but they are, in general, they do the basics right. They are loyal, they care for the women, they buy them flowers and stuff, they ask them, they try to be close to them. But nowadays, men, I don't think they're scared. They just don't want to be friends with women. They don't want to have that very thing that they want to be open, like they talk like guys, and guys they talk, women and women they talk. They can't do that with their life partner because they're scared. What if I say something wrong? What if she picks on it? Let's say you are, thinking something from your past that bothers you, but what if they don't understand, right? So these things is the reason why people have distance slowly, day by day, and then slowly they lose interest from each other. And this is happening a lot. People lose interest just one fine day. They have children and everything. They don't really care for that. They like, we want freedom, we want empowerment, and then many ladies more or less they leave, or they'll force the guy to break up because it's much easier that way, so they can blame them. So yeah, I noticed that a lot. As a guy, I don't feel it's a very fair world. So what sounds like a good idea? Stay single, enjoy little things in life. Sometimes, yeah, you miss having kids, you miss having like, I wish I could have a child, I can play with, I can raise a son or daughter. You'll miss that, you'll miss family. But at the same time, when you think of all the other side, that sometimes if you've gone through a few bad relationships, or difficult ones, you'll rather, pick a life where it is, you're so much at peace, with yourself. You have both sides of the bed. You don't have to fight for that blanket. You don't have to fight for which flowers to go with. You don't have to fight for what movie to pick. You can watch whatever you want. As a guy or girl, single life, all the perks. Okay, so yeah, I mean, sometimes it is not, I'm not saying stay single all your life, but stay single till you find the very special right one, where you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to seek their validation. They will see you for who you are. They will respect your boundary. At the same time, they will love you unconditionally. They'll never leave you unless you really mess it up real bad. You need that sort of strong bonds. You don't need some intense love, emotions, but this side, the trust, the respect, nothing is there. And they constantly poke at you, insult you. They always demean you or be cruel to you. Men cannot live with that. I'm telling you, as guys, I'll just, if you're a girl and watching this, I'll beg you, like, if you find a good man, don't really poke them too much. Do not poke their peaceful places. Do not make them question their self-existence, how good they are, how perfect they are, how strong they are. Not everybody's gonna be rich. Not everybody's gonna be like making like millions, but they're making decent living. If they're providing more or less, they pass more or less all the right criteria, and they are sweet guys, like they should be messed with. If a guy trusts you, mostly, I guess, very simple life, keep it simple. If a guy trusts you 100% and they never ever told you to go away, and then they said, wait for me the right time, and if you broke that trust and you just, after having so much nice time spent together, and you suddenly one fine day you decide, you don't have the respect, you just leave them, and you just decide, I'm done with this guy. And you don't immediately leave them. As women, you leave them, like I notice with time, they already starting seeing other people, but they keep your old boyfriend, to get nearby just to get over them. So one fine day when they finally moved on, then this let you know, oh, we're done, and they just start ghosting you and stuff. This is one of the worst things. Do not be cruel. Okay, I heard one guy say, if you don't have love for someone, don't fake it. It's one of the cruelest thing. I think just like that, another cruel thing is if you leave someone without closure. Maybe you're a narcissist, you're the worst person, but at least leave a space, like when with your ex, even if you break up, you have some sort of respect for your ex-girlfriend. So like, let's say you meet so many years after, you can at least acknowledge like you're happily married. You can be happy for them. But sometimes people take you to such places where you have absolutely full on hate or absolute disgust or just indifferent. You don't remember them. That's just equally bad. And I really feel that you're just because the good time's sake, you should end things on a nice note, and you shouldn't be forcing things on them. If someone say, I don't like you and I'm done with you, you should respect the boundary and then walk away from them. I think this is good, humane thing. This is a more self-respect thing. If they walk away from you, accept it. Don't chase them. Don't, if you don't think there's any chance and they're just done with you, don't show desperation. It makes you look very terrible, right? So yeah, it happens with everybody more or less. When people talk smack or big, sometimes they make you feel like terrible, like, hey, you're such a loser, like I didn't like this about you after the breakup. And they're saying all this thing based on the other guy they're dating, who is actually good looking, who's providing her with all the support, but alone, that person, your ex, she's not strong enough. She couldn't do it alone. That's why she had to do all those other things, boyfriend try to make you jealous, try to make you feel bad. If these things can be done, your love never was real. Your, whatever you say that my ex-boyfriend was good, he's nice guy, but I couldn't love him. All not good, all not true. If you could love and respect someone, the respect should always remain. So anyway, those things don't bother me no more. I am very happy to be working. Gonna be continue working with fragrances, but I feel good sharing. Sometimes may look like a bit weakling and stuff, but trust me, from these little baby steps, slowly I gain strength and I make myself okay, because I have that ability, I believe. Okay, so I don't give up. As long as we're here, we cannot give up. We have to keep working for our dream. My dream sometimes, be at a better position where I can actually still say, I don't have to seek people's validation. I can live on my own terms. That is the goal. Okay, take care, have a nice day. Thanks for watching, and always a pleasure talking to you. Good night from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bye bye.